What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 500,000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman from the upcoming film, The Batman. And so here we have the Batman pose and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's run through his accessories. Batman only comes with his grapple gun, which does fit in his right hand only, and then we do get a McFarlane display stand. Other than that, the Batman doesn't come with any other accessories, so let's have a look at the Batman. And so here we have a closer look at Batman. Now I really have to say, not a fan of how the costume looks, but overall, and I'm just comparing it to screenshots, it is very accurate to the actual movie, with the exception of one thing which we'll get into in a little bit. But as far as the likeness goes, it does have some resemblance to Robert Pattinson, especially right here. You can obviously tell that that is him, but I do like the fact that the cowl is done very nicely. You can see it does still have the eyebrows, which is surprising, but it's a little soft. This Batman really doesn't look threatening in my honest opinion. If these eyebrows were angled a little bit more, he'd have more of a angry expression on him, and that would make him a little more intimidating, but this Batman still looks pretty good. You can see some stitch work in his cowl, which is very odd to me. I'm not used to seeing the line work in the cowl except for the Gotham by Gaslight Batman. And you can see it does go all the way on the back as well. But overall, still a very nice head sculpt. I do like the way it came out. Now, on mine, as you can see, this Batman from the new Batman movie is supposed to have a collar wrapping around the cape, and you can see mine does not. The reason for that is, and this seems to be a reoccurring issue, he came with a draped down cowl. I have no idea why this version of Batman would need a draped down cowl, but yeah, you can see the collar right here and it's actually molded on the cowl. No idea why McFarlane even did this. It seems to be a reoccurring issue, especially from orders from Amazon. So do be aware that if you ordered directly from Amazon, you might have this problem with your Batman figure. Now, it's not that big of an issue to fix. You just gotta basically rip it off on the back and then it just pulls out, because there's only one dab of glue right there. So yeah, that's very odd, very unfortunate, and it does seem to be a reoccurring issue from Amazon orders. So just be aware that if you order from Amazon, you might get one with the draped down cowl while he's still wearing his cowl. So having a look at the outfit, it's not one of my favorite Batman outfits, but it still has some things to like about it. For starters, I do like the fact that it is armored plated. I really love it when they do armor plating on Batman, because it does make sense. He's going out there fighting crime. You don't want to be wearing spandex, you want some armor, and you can see it's done very nicely. I do like the design of it. It's designed very nicely. One thing I can't get behind is the bat emblem. I don't know what it is, but something about this bat emblem I'm not a fan of. Maybe it's because it's too mechanical. It kind of doesn't even resemble a bat, to be quite honest. If it didn't have those scallops right here, you wouldn't even be able to tell it's supposed to be a bat, and it's missing the ears. But it does reminisce from the original Batman emblem, where this kind of does draw inspiration from. One thing I didn't note is that this figure seems to have a hue of green to him. It's not really a dark gray like we've seen in the past. This feels like a very dark green, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It does do a really good job of contrasting the dark from the black, and it is very nicely done. I gotta give them credit there. He does have black shoulder pads right here going down to his arms, which again have some armor plating on them, which is a detail I really do enjoy seeing. He has these, I honestly don't know what these are supposed to be. The movie isn't out at the time of making this video, but this does remind me of the talons and how they have those shooters on their wrists, so that does make me remind me of the talons, and maybe these do have some projectiles in them. Maybe they'll be used, I don't know, but we'll see. The spikes here on his gauntlet are some of the softest I've ever dealt with on a Batman figure ever, and you can see there's really nothing rigid about them. They are very, very soft, so that is a little bit unfortunate. Nice detail on the gloves, although his right hand does seem a little bit small. Left hand is permanently open, so he can hold the grapple gun, which does attach via peg right there. The cape is done fairly well. I do like it. It's not really your traditional Batman cape with the scallop, but you can see the scallop does come at the edges right here. Maybe there's more right here. It's just folded in over itself, but yeah, it's not your traditional style Batman cape, but I'm perfectly okay with that. Having a look at his utility belt, really do like the utility belt. It does look like it serves some functionality. It does look like you can attach the grapple gun to one of these hooks if you really wanted to. I don't know if that's a feature that's supposed to be on here, but it can be used for that. Really do like the pouches and the canisters he has throughout his utility belt. As you can see, done very nicely, and they are in black. Again, not a fan of how they did the separation of the armor plates from the fabric, but it is really still really nice. You can see the sculpt work in it is very clean. Thigh pads look good. I don't know what's supposed to be here. I might be missing something, but I don't feel like this is complete. It looks like this is supposed to be holstering something. Maybe for the grapple gun? Maybe it's a holster? I don't know, but they didn't include a holster on this Batman, so gotta go back and see what those were all about. His knee pads are a little bit odd to me because they're not made of the same plastic as his thighs. These are actually soft rubber. I don't know why they opted out for the soft rubber knee pads, but they did, and it does make these a little bit soft. Doesn't hinder articulation at all, but you can see a difference in plastic from the thighs to the knees, so just keep that in mind. He does have some glossiness to his boots, at least at the top part of his boot. At the bottom it is matte. I kind of wish that they had kept that same color going through it. If it's not supposed to be like that, then they did a good job. If it's supposed to be one color, then they made a mistake. So yeah, there is that. And then he does have no detail on the boots, which is unfortunate. And one thing to note about this Batman is he actually has laces on his boots, which is very different from all the other Batmans we've ever had a look at. So with that out of the way, guys, I think they did a good job on this Batman. Even though it's not my favorite outfit, it still has some things to like about it. So with that out of the way, let's actually get the Batman pose and compare to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have the Batman pose next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have the Batman compared to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Batman posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we do have the Batman posed next to a Three Jokers Batman and a Justice League Batman. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually have a closer look at Batman's articulation. Now, Batman does have a double ball joint in the head, which does let him look up quite a bit. I do like that. Maybe mine has more freedom because I did cut off the collar piece, but yeah, if yours has a collar, he might not get that much movement out of it. Looking down, not so much. Doesn't really move down. Does get a lot of head tilt because of that double ball joint, so that is good. He does turn left and right, no problem. Arms are on ball joints, so they do go all the way around, which I do like. They go out to the side to about right there. Now, one problem I am noticing with this figure is that the shoulder pads do get in the way, unlike most other figures where the shoulder pads have had enough clearance to go around. This one, you're either going to bump it under the cape, which does fold the shoulder pad, or you're going to get it to go over, and it's really a big hassle. You got to really work for it. The arm does go all the way around, no problem. We do have a bicep swivel, which wouldn't be a problem, but the shoulder pad again does butt up against the cape, so yeah, that is a problem that I can see with this figure. He does have double bend at the elbow, giving us pretty good range. Then we do have a ball hinge at the wrist, giving us up and down or in and out movement, and then rotates on that ball joint. Then we do have a ball joint here at the torso, which unfortunately doesn't go that far forward. Goes back quite a bit. We get some tilt as well as rotation. Then we have a second ball joint here at the waist, which again, no forward mobility on Batman, but we do get some backwards mobility, which is a little bit odd, and then really stiff rotation at the waist. It got stuck. But yeah, the waist does rotate if yours isn't stuck. Legs do kick out forward, no problem. Go back to about right there. Out to the side, not at all hindered. Some thigh swivel. We get a double bend here at the knee. Pretty good range there. No boot swivel, but we do have rotation at the ankle, a hinge which does go back and forward, and then in forward facing pin for rocker ankle. We can give him a true rocker ankle as well as a toe joint. Very generous on that toe joint though. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get the Batman pose for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the McFarlane Batman from the upcoming Batman movie pose for my final thoughts, and overall this is still a very nice figure. Now me personally, I'm not a fan of the costume, and reviewing it from a figure standpoint, there's a lot of things to like about this figure. The sculpt work is very nice, the coloration is very good. I do like the fact that there are some different sheens in black, which does work. There's some soft bits of plastic in the chest and knees. I don't understand the reason for the knees, but I do understand why he has some soft plastic in the chest, just to help with mobility, and it does function really nicely. I do like that. Not a fan of how this figure's shoulders are designed. They could have designed this in a way that those shoulders would work a little bit better. Maybe if they were actually attached to the shoulders, that would be a little bit better. But yeah, not a fan of the shoulder design at all. Another thing I'm not a fan of is the drape down cowl. I have no idea how that mistake was made. This figure has a cowl. Why does he come with a drape down cowl? I will never understand. Now, as far as some cons to this figure, I gotta mention that his right hand is always going to be flat, and its only purpose is to hold the grapnel gun, and he can only hold it one way. Another flaw I really do have to point out about this is the sideways looking eyes. Now normally that's not an issue, but when you look at this figure from an action figure standpoint, his accessory is on the right side and he's looking off to his left, meaning there is no meaningful way you can have him posed with the grapnel gun where it doesn't look awkward, and that's one thing I really don't like. Other than that, this is still a very nice Batman figure, and if you're lucky enough to get one without a defect like the cowl, this would be a much better figure. But overall, still happy with this figure. It looks very nice. Not my favorite Batman, but a Batman that I'm willing to welcome into my collection. If you are looking for the Batman, he is starting to hit stores at the time I'm making this video, so go check out your local Targets, Walmarts, Walgreens, or pick them up on Amazon. But I do have to stress, Amazon is the only one seemingly that has the problem with the drape down cowl, so order at your own risk from Amazon. So with that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other DC Multiverse videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.